Hi, I'm Reea and I'm a channel, and I channel the Egyptian goddess Ma'at, the goddess of truth, justice and harmony. So today I've got a few questions that people have sent in, and I'm going to be channeling the answers from Ma'at for you. Stay around. The first question I've been asked is, what is it that makes some people more susceptible to falling into narcissistic relationships? If you've only had one relationship with a narcissist, that's probably not a question you should even ask yourself, because maybe it was just bad luck. The way things happened, you had a karmic connection with that person, or you found them very attractive and appealing, and let's face it, narcissists can be very attractive and appealing. But if, like me, you've had more than one relationship with a narcissist, then it's time to ask yourself why. Why is it that you have a tendency to be attracted to narcissists? And here's what Mark's got to say. We welcome you in the love and the light of the infinite creator. We are Ma'at. If you are someone who has had relationship with another being that you believe to be narcissistic, there are a few very important things to consider. Firstly, that it is common for all children on your planet, and particularly adolescents, to embody narcissistic behaviours and thoughts. That is not because there is something wrong with them. It's because they have only psychologically developed to the level where they are only able to hold two perceptions or points of view in their mind at one time, and they are not able to particularly well hold those 2 points of view simultaneously. So they might understand someone else's need, someone else's feelings, someone else's desires in their mind, but they can't hold that other person's perception in their mind at the same time that they hold their own. And so they are always going to go back to doing what they want to do. And from that perspective, it may seem as though they are self-absorbed or selfish. The way of humans of developing psychologically is that eventually you will rise above that, and your psychology will develop to the point where you can hold several points of view in your mind at the same time. And therefore you may want to do something, but you know that when you wish to do that thing, that it will make someone else unhappy or harm them or have negative consequences in some way, and therefore you will change your behavior. So remember that many of your adolescents and young people have narcissistic traits. Now, there is a continuum on which narcissism on your planet exists. It goes from simply being self-absorbed, selfish, or perhaps what you would call a jerk on one end of the spectrum, and on the other end of the spectrum, you have someone with a personality disorder, a mental disorder from your perspective. You may fall prey to narcissists if you have had other narcissists around you as you were growing up. If you've had a narcissistic parent or caregiver, to you, such behaviour is normal, and in a certain way, even though you may not like it, you probably feel comfortable around that kind of energy. It may be normal for you to have to always put your own needs and desires and feelings second, and put the narcissistic parent or caregiver's feelings first. You may feel it is normal to be hypervigilant and tippy-toe around another person, to always have to give in to the other person's wants and desires. And so if you have been reared that way, if you have been brought up that way, in that kind of environment, even though you don't like it, if you are unconscious of the fact that that behavior is not normal and healthy, then you will often find yourself attracted to someone with those very personality traits. From a consciousness perspective, your unconscious mind, the part of you that is connected to the collective consciousness, your higher mind, that part of you is programmed to heal. It heals all of your physical body whenever it is able to, without interference. You don't have to tell your unconscious mind to make your heart beat when you're asleep. You have a body consciousness, which is an aspect of your unconscious mind, which takes care of all of those sorts of things. In the same way, your unconscious mind is programmed to heal your emotional body. And sometimes if you are holding on to hurts and dark energies and thoughts inside you from childhood trauma or abuse, then your unconscious mind will seek to help you bring those aspects of self to awareness by perhaps attracting someone into your experience, or making you attracted to someone in your experience that can mirror or reflect those qualities back at you. You cannot heal something unless you can become aware of it. So once you become aware that you have a button that is pushed when you're around the other person, you have feelings that get hurt, you have distortions from in your perception or your feelings, when you're around the other person, then you have the opportunity to rise above them, to heal those parts of yourself. So sometimes attracting a narcissist into your life is a blessing and a gift, and that person comes to be your teacher and your healer. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that you have to stay with that person or that you have to fix that person. So you will understand eventually, if the relationship is unhealthy and it is causing you pain, the correct response from you may be to walk away. Often people stay far too long in unhealthy relationships on this planet, and that is not something that is encouraged at all by your higher self. That does not mean that you are encouraged by your higher self or by spirit to leave relationships when things get messy, because relationships will get messy very often. However, if the abuse is severe enough, if you are being emotionally, psychologically, or physically abused, then love of the self would always require that you walk away and take care of yourself. You must put yourself first, not the other person. So perhaps you have been trained in your childhood to always put everyone else's needs before your own. That feeling that you cannot be comfortable unless the other people around you are comfortable. You cannot be happy unless the other people around you are happy. We urge you always to love the self. Self-love is enlightenment, and that is what you are on the planet for. To learn to love yourself in the same way that you love other people, as much, if not more, than you love other people. And then to exercise that love with wisdom. And exercising that love with wisdom would require you to walk away from a relationship that is detrimental to yourself and your energy.